Tonight we saw The Menu. Aiden, what's the plot of The Menu?
A bunch of people are invited to a very high-class restaurant where they are served, kind of. Yeah, Connor. Thank you, kitties. Connor, what did you think of the menu?
From here on out, it's going to be spoilers. I would highly recommend this movie.
As would I.
So let's get into it. So basically, The Menu is about Ralph Fiennes' character, who's a chef who has reached the peak of his profession and has kind of fallen out of love with the profession. So he comes up with one final dish, or one final menu, to kind of top them all, which includes the death of the patrons as well as his staff at the end of the film. And yeah, it's a brilliantly shot movie. It looks amazing throughout. It's great at keeping your attention despite staying mostly in one location the entire time. You feel very isolated on the island, like the patrons and the staff. And most people watching would probably relate with the somewhat everyman role Anya Taylor-Joy plays in this movie. And all of the acting is really wonderful. It's funny at times, suspenseful, and it really does a good job of making you feel like you're there, simulating the experience of being part of this experience with how isolating it is. It's a very magnificent movie, and while the plot is fairly basic, there's a lot to it, and it's a very good character study of Ralph Fiennes' character as well as Anya Taylor-Joy's and the rest of the Islanders. And it's just a wonderful experience. So Aiden, what did you think of The Menu?
The menu is very, very good. It's definitely at the top for me this year. I think it's everyone in it is wonderful. It's wonderfully shot. Just fantastic all around. I think it's a very interesting piece about art, to say the least. The enjoyment of art, how people consume art, and how people create art. And it has a lot of interesting ideas about that. A lot of people on Letterboxd just think it's a rich people bad movie. Just don't. It's not really. It's a lot about creating art. It's very thoughtful and satirical and funny, and despite being all of those things, it's not bogged down in its message. It's still a really unique, fun thriller where most of the time people just eat bad food. So it's very captivating. I think I don't want to over talk about my analysis of it too much. But I think it's definitely worth seeing and thinking about on that level as sort of a critique of the way people consume art. It's directed by Mark Mylod, who does he's done about half of the episodes of Succession, all the major ones, and I watched that recently. That's a fantastic show, and you can definitely see a lot of the same themes and elements in a more condensed form, which I think is really interesting. A lot on, I'm getting off topic, but I think it's super brilliant while still being very fun. Beautifully acted, beautifully shot. The food stuff all looks... the food is very interestingly created, which is a big point there. I think that about wraps it up. It's really Really clever, funny in weirdly dark ways. Touches on some horror stuff. It's very interesting, and I love it. Connor, would you recommend The Menu?
Yeah, I'd recommend The Menu. It's a contender for top movie. We haven't discussed what we're doing this year for our movie list, but I definitely believe it'll be up there. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things I've seen this year in a while. So yeah. So Aiden, would you recommend The Menu?
Yeah, easy recommend. I think even for people who aren't into like the arty stuff, it's still simple fun while being about things, which is kind of the point of the movie, you know, about making things that are enjoyable, and this is enjoyable. Yeah, easy recommend for me.
Good job, Disney.
Thank you, Touchstone, Disney.
It's not even Touchstone, it's
Fox
Fox
Searchlight's right.
It's a subsidiary of Disney.
Fox Searchlight becoming A24.